HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance. Hello, everyone. Welcome to HCAM News. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy, here to fill you in with what's happening in Hopkinton. On today's edition of HCAM News, the Planning Board takes a look at the new middle school, plus much more. But first, Hopkinton High School alumni and shot put sensation Kate Powers was in town to talk with the Parks and Recreation Summer Track and Field Camp.
Kate, like Miss Allen said, I graduated from the high school in 2022, so 2 years ago. I officially started doing track my freshman year. Growing up, I played a lot of different sports. I played softball, I played basketball, I played volleyball in high school as well. I did soccer a little bit, so I tried a little bit of everything.
Kate Powers was a student athlete superstar while at Hopkinton High School. Some of her accomplishments include winning a girls' volleyball state championship and breaking countless records with the shot put. Kate recently joined the Parks and Recreation Youth Track and Field Camp to talk with the young athletes about her experience in high school and at Kentucky University.
And then I had just come home and I was training for a little bit, and I unfortunately ended up getting injured, as you can see with the boot. But it's part of the game, and something that I've learned being in this sport is you kind of have to be prepared for everything, and it happens when you least expect it, but I also think that everything happens for a reason, so you just kind of have to persevere through the hard times and just know that it's going to be better on the other side. And I'm just so happy to be here with all of you because you know, I started what I would call my track career when I was your age, and you know, now I'm here. I'm almost 20 years old, and I've been to the Olympic trials, and it's just cool for this full circle moment to be here with all of you. So I'm really happy to see all of you today. Does anyone have any immediate questions that they would like to ask me?
Oh, great! Got a question right over here.
How did you break your foot?
So I was actually throwing. I'm a hammer thrower. I should have said that earlier, but I'm a hammer thrower. Do any of you know what the hammer throw is?
Yeah,
you watched it?
My mom's least favorite.
Oh, okay. It's her least favorite one. Well, it is very dangerous. Come to find out, it is very dangerous. So I was throwing, and my foot kind of got stuck in between the front of the ring and on my other foot. So my ankle ended up snapping, unfortunately. And I was taken to the hospital. I had surgery that day, and that was about 5 weeks ago, but the recovery is going really well. I actually have a titanium plate in my ankle now, so I'm like half robot, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so recovery is going well. Hopefully I should be walking in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, it was a little bit scary, as you guys can probably guess, but I think it was definitely a blessing in disguise, and I think good things are going to come out of it, and it really makes you be more appreciative of just small things like walking around and being able to move your body, like stuff like that I miss so much, so it makes me not take it for granted.
What are some of the coolest or some of your most favorite venues that you've competed at?
I think Hayward Field obviously is one of them, just because it's such a famous track, and it holds a lot of memories there. And I would also say the indoor Arkansas track is one of my favorites. Indoor SECs were held there, and we also had a different meet, and obviously the Hopkinton track, you know, just so many fond memories of being here, and this is where it all started, so those are my favorites.
And what award have you won at Kentucky so far that you're most proud of, or a record that you set?
I won SEC Freshman of the Week after Drake Relays, so that was pretty fun. Being a second team All-American after NCAAs was also really cool, and breaking the freshman record again at NCAAs was very special just because it's such a big venue, and it's really kind of an either do or die moment, and I feel like I rose to the occasion and I was really proud of that performance, so I think that was my favorite record that I broke.
All right, and what's it like being back here with the kids today?
It's great. I mean, I'm just so happy that they asked me to be here and I was able to talk to them. It's just such a full circle moment being back here again. So, and I just want to give back all I can because this town and this community and this track program has given me so much. Like, I can never fully repay them. So just doing stuff like this, it's small in comparison to all that they gave me. So.
View the full speech airing on HCAM soon. The Planning Board and School Committee recently discussed the design plan for the new Charleswood Elementary School, which will replace Elmwood. Here's a look.
So I'll just do a quick introduction. I think that this project is fairly well known within the town. We've been working with the Elementary School Building Committee for a number of years at this point to move this project forward. And the Planning Board is our next step on that long journey. The project is a 176,000 square foot elementary school that would replace the current Elmwood school and would combine the current fourth grade with the second and third grade that is at the Elmwood school into the new Charleswood school.
During the meeting, some of the engineers and designers previewed what the school would look like and what the layout would be.
So site locus, just to orient Hayden Row and the existing Marathon Elementary School, the site as is currently, and then in red, this is all town property, and then this little area is conservation land. So the proposed layout, so again, Marathon School and the driveway would come up this way, and here is to Hayden Row. So you can come in from either side. There's a rotary to move around, come in. You have the main parking lot, the school, and there are playing fields here, overflow parking, and then in the rear of the building, there is additional play areas, and then in between the building wings, you have landscape features, outdoor classrooms, rain gardens area. The service area is here on the south. And so this is just the general layout.
And the building is largely a masonry building. That's a combination of different scale masonry units, and it's also organized in a way that is to break down that scale. So when the little kids come up to the building and when they're dropped off, that there's a lower scale kind of entrance experience. And then the back of the building are the three academic wings, which are 3 stories each. And that's for a reason. We want to be able to allow the district to organize the school by grade or by floor. So each wing can be a grade, or each floor can be a grade.
You can view the full meeting on HCAM and at our YouTube page, youtube.com/HCAMTV. We are going to take a quick time out. A whole lot more HCAM news ahead. Don't go anywhere.
HCAM is supported by our viewers. Thank you. And by the Hopkinton Independent newspaper and online news site. The newspaper reaches 100% of the homes and businesses in town, and the website is updated daily with exclusive Hopkinton content. Readers can receive a daily newsletter and breaking news alerts via email.
Saturday morning cartoons are back. Every Saturday at 8 a.m., HCAM's Toon Time has an hour of classic cartoons, from Betty Boop to Superman to Popeye to Bugs Bunny and more. You'll see your old favorites and discover new ones. So tune in to Toon Time, Saturdays at 8, and start your weekend off with a laugh.
Welcome back to HCAM News. We have started the new season of HCAM Sports Talk. Here's a look at the first episode. All right, so let's talk about the quarterback position. All right, last year, the league leader in points, or at least in the league I'm in, was Josh Allen with 467.5 points. Second place, you had Dak Prescott, 448. Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts each had 412. Brock Purdy, 395. So, what are you guys thinking for the quarterback position? Who are your top guys that you would want to look for in the draft at the quarterback position? Andy?
Well, I think Jordan Love, to me, is just this guy's really just solidified himself now. He's the real deal. And what the Packers have completely moved on from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's the Jordan Love era is now beginning in Green Bay, and I would definitely would consider him. I also would look at maybe Jared Goff because he rejuvenated his whole career last year with the Lions. Nearly took him to a Super Bowl. I think.
He was right in the top 10 as well.
Yeah, who's the guy from Houston? What's his name again?
C.J. Stroud.
Sorry, C.J. Stroud. Real deal.
Stroud to Diggs, baby. Get ready for it.
But I think that the Texans are really primed. Could they be the team that gives Kansas City some trouble?
I think them, and I've been saying this, talking to Steve, I think Houston is going to be the best team in the AFC besides, I'll say Kansas City is going to be the best since they've won the Super Bowl, but I think Houston has the best chance of challenging them in the AFC.
And DeMeco Ryans, this guy's a good coach. I mean,
they really spent a lot of money. They built that team nicely. They added Diggs, and then they added some defensive pieces. They added Danielle Hunter on the defense. They should be a good, well-rounded team, the Texans.
It should. And I think that if the Bengals have a bounce back year, don't forget, they have beaten the Chiefs in Kansas City. Joe Burrow's not intimidated going into Kansas City. That's a team you also need to watch for. But I agree with you and Steve that I think Houston could be that team. I'm not saying that they're going to beat Kansas City because Mahomes is the best right now. What about Baltimore? With the addition of Derrick Henry, that changes everything. But you saw it last year. Lamar Jackson, he has to play better.
Like he does, well, especially in the playoffs. Regular season, he was fine. But the playoffs is when he chokes. But I'll tell you something about Baltimore. One thing I've always said the last few years, all they need is a running back. They kind of had Gus Edwards last year, but he was so-so sometimes.
Not like this guy. He's not like this guy.
But now they got an absolute monster.
I think Derrick Henry is going to be a top 2 or 3 running back in fantasy this year. He's going to have a monster season.
Especially with that O-line. Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Tom Nappy here with Eric Cardy, your water and sewer manager for Hopkinton. Eric, how are you?
I'm doing well, Tom. Thank you. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Nice day out there today. So, how's everything going at the DPW? I know you guys have been pretty busy with summer road work and some big projects going on. How's everything going over there?
Yeah, as you said, it's always busy now. With the growth of the town there, we're always out with some project going on. We're also, dealing with so far what's coming on record to be one of the hottest summers ever. So we're trying to, make sure we can maintain supplies in terms of that. The highway's done several roads that they had on the schedule for hot top. They've got that work done. We've been working on our PFAS filter, which has been online since the beginning of the month, late June, which was great. So now at well 6, we have non-detective PFAS going through the system. So we're through the first stage. That's just deemed a temporary solution. The long-term solution is to look at the MWA connection, which will be ongoing. All the permitting and process for that will probably take another 3 to 4 years before we're able to go ahead with that project. So yeah, lots going on in that aspect. Again, we've had just enough rain that's helped us out with our wells early on. We had some really high demands there when we first started getting into the 90s streak here. All of last year, we only had 3 90-degree days, and we're already up past 10 or 12 to this point from last year. Last year, we also had, in the month of July, we had over 10.5 inches of rain. Well, we just got hit by storm after storm after storm. Because I can remember before going on vacation last year, we were making sure our sewer stations weren't going to overflow. So it's been better in that respect, that we're not dealing with floods. We're just dealing with the heat, which we can take in moderation. So that's been good for us so far.
How are the water levels? Are we still a ways away from a drought situation, or are we doing all right?
So we're doing okay. The groundwater is definitely dropping. We're actually, believe it or not, 1.5 inches below normal for this time of year. We've had some rain, recent last couple of days we have, but it's only amounted to like 1/4 inch each time. So our groundwaters have, like I said, dropped about 1 foot in the past month. So we're not into the danger zone yet, but we are, approaching longer hours that we're pumping. Or obviously, with these 90-degree days in the sun, the water use goes up exponentially. So we just continue to ask people to please follow the rules that are in effect. Just water on your days and the hours that are in between to help us make it so that we don't have to go any further restrictions. One of the big driving factors for us is also the height of the Hopkinton Reservoir. There's a clause in the permits for both us and Ashland that once that hits a certain height or drops to a certain height, that certain wells get shut off, and that triggers a bigger water restriction for us. So I've checked in with Ashland last week, and so far those levels are staying good. So as long as we continue to get periodic rain here, hopefully we can make it through the summer without any additional restrictions.
I feel like everybody around us gets all the rain, but the rain never hits Hopkinton or the Milford area.
So it's funny. I don't know if you follow my Hopkinton Weather Twitter site, but I put the radar up there very often, and we have a phenomenon. I call it the Hopkinton split, and it happens quite frequently. It's actually happened twice in the past 2 weeks, where we had some significant rain coming, and right as it approaches from the west, it seems to get to the Grafton area, and it seems to literally split in half. One half will go south towards Milford and Bellingham area, and the other will go north towards the Westboro area and kind of skirts around us. So I got a running joke online that we are famous for the Hopkinton split when the storms are headed our way in the summer.
I guess that could be good, but also a bad thing if you need some well-needed rain.
Right. Yeah. On the work side, it's bad. On the private side, if you're outside, it's good. So
absolutely,
because you kind of want the well water to help recharge.
Right. So hopefully we'll get some rain. And speaking of the weather, I mean, we got it looks like another heat wave coming in. How long is this heat gonna last, do you think?
So they were pretty spot on. They said at the beginning of the year it was going to be a much warmer and wetter summer than average. So unfortunately, it looks like we got another set of heat coming in. Next week's also, of course, I'm going on vacation, so it's looking a little rain here as well. But it is supposed to kind of persist through the summer, just the way the setups are right now. It's severe heat waves out in the Midwest, and that might be swinging our way. They've had temperatures, well in exceedance of some of the records out there. So it's been one of those years you just kind of locked into it and kind of have to deal with what comes our way. So, I mean, the good news, knock on wood, so far, it's still early in the season, but at least the tropical storms have been at bay. There's been a lot of sand that blows off the African west coast. And when that sand is blown out into the Atlantic, it actually helps depress any tropical storms for forming. So that's been prevalent lately. So hopefully, that will maintain. But we know there's going to be storms. There always is. There was a prediction to have higher than average tropical storms. So again, it's real early in the season. It's not really till August when those start to heat up. So we hopefully, we're able to be spared. It's been a long time since Hurricane Bob hit. So unfortunately, we're due. But it'd be nice to go without one again this year if possible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, hopefully we'll never get a significantly bad storm, but we are certainly well overdue. I feel like the last few years it's been very active and pretty surprising that we haven't got one. So
yeah, we've had a couple close calls with that one hitting in Rhode Island, and it was downgraded to a tropical storm 2 or 3 years ago. We got about 4 or 5 inches of rain, and thankfully not too bad. So yeah, hopefully our luck holds up because, like I said, I remember Hurricane Bob. That was a Category 1, and I remember seeing the damage around town after that, and that was significant with just being a Category 1. So hopefully we're able to avoid any significant damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I know down south they just had the Houston area. They just had a big hurricane. I believe it's the earliest one that they've had in a long time. This early.
Yeah, and to be a major one, that was the earliest major recorded one in the Atlantic Basin as well. So yeah, the weather's definitely changing. So we'll just have to hope that it doesn't affect us too drastically too often.
Absolutely, and we'll get back to weather in a second. But I wanted to ask you. A press release was sent out recently from the DPW. It was about the new EPA requirement. Just for the residents out there and the people wondering, can you explain what that is and also how everything is progressing with that?
Absolutely. So yeah, new requirement that came into effect. It's called the lead and copper. So it's actually called the service inventory, but it's pertaining to lead and primarily lead services. So the goal is to try to locate. We're pretty sure that we don't have any left. Our record books don't indicate what every service type is. So this press release that we sent out is to help the public help us identify what they do have in their basements for the ones that we don't have uh, a type of pipe for. So we're confident we've got most of the lead lines removed that we knew of back 10, 15 years ago. But this process will go through. And we ask the people that do receive a letter in the mail, if you could please fill out that short survey, because that will help us not only identify if you have a lead service, but it also helps us comply with this new requirement. So we have to inventory all 4,000 of our services, compile a database, and have that available and sent in to the DEP and the EPA for the deadline is this October. So it's a big undertaking. Unfortunately, they did not keep a lot of good records of the services. We have all the mains and all those types, but we're missing quite a few of the service types that were put in long ago. So we really need the help of the public with that. And we also ask them on there if they have any questions, if they during the survey, if they can't identify the pipe, to please call our office. We'll be happy to go out and do it for them. There's no I'm trying to think of the proper word to say. If they do have a lead pipe, yeah, we're going to come out and replace that. So there's no ramifications to the public. They're not going to have to do these major spend major money to do renovation and that. So we want people to let us know. Don't be afraid to fill out the survey because there's no ramifications back to the public.
Yeah, help get the lead out of the water system, right?
Exactly.
All right, and also it was announced that there's going to be and the select board approved this, a water and sewer rate change and some changes in the water and sewer system. Can you explain what that's all about?
Sure. So every year we have a consultant come in that helps us do a rate study evaluation. So we go through all of the projects that we have currently that we have planned to come up, and based off of that and equipment needs, we have trucks that we have a replacement program that has to be replaced every year. We have some mandates. Unfortunately, there are mostly mandates from the state and federal government that are unfunded. That can be quite costly. So we have to prepare for those as well. And so this year the rates went up. Unfortunately, it was a significant change of about 40%. You still get a very good deal for water. If you look at the overall amount of what you're paying for water, it's less than a penny a gallon. So you compare that to gas, milk, everything else, it's significantly less. But unfortunately, the costs are significantly going up. All the chemicals that we use to treat it, all the vehicles, everything that we're getting, of course, has all gone up. Everyone knows it's dealing with it at home. The price increases have gone up severely, so that's all affecting us as well. So, hoping to minimize any sharper increases in the future. We're still, in terms of surrounding areas, we're still on the middle to low side of rates, which is a good part, even though we've had some significant ones past couple of years. Before that, we've been on the lower side. And the good news is that was just the water rate that went up. The sewer rate actually was reduced last year, and this year there was no increase on the sewer side. So that will help out residents on that end.
So is this just for the year that you're going to see this change, or is it assessed like every year?
We assess it every year. Yeah, we do try to look at a 3-year window to try to project out, to give people an idea what it is. So there is still projected increases for the next 2 years, but based on what happens this year, and there's always changes, so that can fluctuate up or down either way. Hopefully it'll be, downward for the next year. But we do it each year and present that evaluation, and then the selectmen will make the final decision on that before July 1st, the fiscal year starts.
All right. Well, I know a lot is being done to keep the water safe. You guys do a great job. So let's get back to a couple more questions about the weather. And actually, before I do that, I should mention you can find more information about this at our website, hcam.tv. And of course, if you have any questions, they can reach out to you, right, Eric?
Absolutely. Yep. Happy to do it. I'm not a professional, but I have the records if people need information on the records of what's been going on. I follow a lot of the predictive stuff to see what's gonna supposedly happen in the future. So it comes in handy for the job as well.
Absolutely. All right. Well, a lot going on with the DPW, that's for sure. So we had to fit those in because I know there was a lot of people wondering about some of these press releases that we just had come out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will mention, Tom, one other thing. Good news is we were able to hire. We had a new position open up, so we were able.
It is time to tell you about some happenings in town you should know about. Concerts on the Common continues August 18th with Knock on Wood. Just a couple more Parks and Recreation concerts on the Common left for the 2024 season. So be sure to check out Concerts on the Common Sundays at 5 p.m. Our picture of the week, Hopkinton alumni and now Kentucky Wildcat Kate Powers talked with students participating in the Hopkinton Parks and Recreation Track and Field Camp about her record-setting athletic career. This picture is courtesy of Mike Terosian. Upcoming town government meetings include on Thursday, August 22nd at 7 p.m. We have the school committee meeting live on HCAM Ed as well as our YouTube page. And on Monday, August 19th at 7 p.m., we'll have the planning board meeting. To view all upcoming town government meetings, head over to hcam.tv/gov, or for more information, head over to the town website at hopkintonma.gov. Believe it or not, we are out of time for this edition of HCAM News, but don't worry, next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., we'll be back. For everyone at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. As always, we thank you for watching. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.